Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. A quick news update for you guys on Hulu's content being added into Disney Plus and how it's hit a couple of roadblocks. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. So earlier this year, Disney announced that they would be making Hulu content available within Disney Plus in the United States for Hulu subscribers. It's all part of their one app experience to basically make Disney Plus much stronger, to offer much more content, to provide a little bit of relief from like Marvel and Star Wars, but also to offer just a mass amount of content and really kind of just boost Disney Plus into that next level so it can properly compete with like Netflix and Max and stuff. Internationally, Disney has already done this, here in the UK and in Australia and in Canada. We already have most of the Hulu content in Disney Plus. Most of it is owned by Disney, stuff from like 20th century television. You've also got in there like FX, ABC, etc. So we're kind of used to this internationally. It's been a huge success. It's reduced churn from people leaving Disney Plus. It's kept people engaged because there's just so much more stuff to watch on there. If you're watching things like Grey's Anatomy or Family Guy or anything like that, it just means that you're going to be much more likely to keep Disney Plus. It's worked really well. But the existence of Hulu has caused some problems in the US of why they couldn't do it. Now, as of right now, Comcast still owns a percentage of Hulu, and that is set to be resolved pretty soon. In November, they can kind of put towards the deal to make Disney buy out Comcast's stake. Now, that's going to have to go through a case of arbitration and go through mediation, and basically they come up with a value and then they're going to agree to it. So that's one issue that's been dealing with. Originally it was supposed to be taking place next year, but they have pulled it forward a few months. But it looks like this might have caused some issues with the rollout of the plan. Now, originally it was set to take place in September, but it's now been pushed back to December of this year. Disney's been very vague on it. They've not really put out any real information about it. They just talk about it during their quarterly results, and we've got one coming up next month. So I would imagine we're definitely going to have to hear about it if they're planning on launching it in December, because America is going to need to be made aware of this, especially in America. They're going to need advertising. They're going to have to run campaigns to get Americans used to the idea that this stuff is coming in, that to make them aware that, you're going to have your parental controls active. And if you're a Hulu subscriber, you're going to have access to this content. When you start seeing things like Pam and Tommy and Welcome to Chippendales in Disney Plus, it's going to need some explaining and things are going to have to be sorted out. I think it's a fantastic idea when this comes in. I've noticed myself, when they added in the Star content, most of the stuff I watch on Disney Plus here in the UK is the Star content. It is the Hulu stuff, because it's more aimed at my age group, the stuff that I enjoy watching. So I'm really glad that this is coming in. But according to the Wall Street Journal, it has hit some speed bumps because Disney has been doing a lot of cost cutting, obviously reducing staff, etc., which has caused some delays, and a lot of the projects have been kind of put on hold or delayed. Now, this project is actually called Project Hulk, obviously in reference to the big green machine from Marvel, which I think is actually pretty fitting. They've also got other code names for other projects that they're running right now, like Yoda, which is their international rollout for the ad tier, and you've also got Dory, which is the international rollout of the password crackdown. So they kind of use these little terms within their teams. But yeah, it's hit some roadblocks. They've obviously lost some staff and stuff, but there was going to be some new key features to launch alongside the new bundle, and those aren't actually going to be arriving. They're going to be apparently going to be heading in and around about March of 2024, including like personalization, kind of taking what you've watched on Disney Plus and kind of giving you a better version. I think that would basically be like an algorithm that we see like Netflix and YouTube showing stuff. Other features as well aren't going to be launching in December when this new thing comes in. Now, this obviously is not good news. They've been working on this project for years. Why it's taken them so long? It feels so sluggish for them how to do it. Now, here's my little theory on what's going to happen. I think when they do this add-on and they put it in there, I think they're going to be cutting costs, and I think all we're going to eventually be seeing is how Disney Plus operates internationally with the Star Hub. I could quite easily see them just rebranding that to Hulu and just turning it on in the United States, because that way they can give you access to all of the 20th century and ABC and FX content that's like within the Disney Plus system. You can get shows like Family Guy and, Only Murders in the Building. They can do all of that, and it's kind of in some ways probably a lot easier for them to do because the framework's already there, the system's in there, and essentially just turn it on in the US. Obviously, you're going to have to be a Hulu subscriber or part of the Disney bundle to get access to this content. They're not doing it for free. You know, that's not how they're doing it yet. I suspect they will eventually all merge in together. You know, we've seen the other studios do this, for example, like with Discovery Plus and Max, and we've seen it with Paramount Plus and Showtime, where they kind of have to do that awkward stage where they have to run the two together for a while before they can eventually merge them. This is kind of, I think, what we're going to see with Disney. So it's all going to be a little bit messy. The features aren't going to be as good as we had hoped for. I was hoping that Disney Plus was going to get a big upgrade. It doesn't look like that's necessarily going to be happening this year. But at least the plan is at least to get this content into Disney Plus this year. I think that's the key thing. And it will really help, you know, when you go into Disney Plus and you see shows like Welcome to Wrexham and Only Murders in the Building, you know, as an adult viewer, you're going to be much more inclined to stay engaged and watch it there. And you're going to start seeing the power of Disney when it all comes together. I don't think sometimes in the US people are aware of some of the stuff that comes out from it. I think it's going to be a big boost. But yeah, American audiences are going to have to be made aware of it. When they launched Star in the UK and around the world, they did a big advertising campaign sort of saying, you know, it's for grown-ups, you know, there's stuff here for us. You know, it doesn't always have, Disney Plus isn't just what you think it is. And that kind of campaign has continued to run all the time. They're going to need to do something similar in the US to get audiences ready. You know, we really saw a big push on them putting forward, you know, make sure you got your parental controls and stuff set up. They've already done that in the US. The function's all there. But I'm really feeling now that the actual main core idea of what they're going to do is going to be very, very simple to what we've already seen. One of the key issues, according to the Wall Street Journal, is that Disney is still negotiating with some of the licensed content. That's the big issue. Disney has said that not all of Hulu's content would be available within Disney Plus. So again, the things from like 20th Century Studios, ABC, FX can all come over. But things like the WWE, the Fox show, stuff from Crunchyroll, that kind of stuff is a lot more difficult, and they're going to have to organize these things individually. So we might not get everything in there. You know, that's going to be a key thing. And I always felt like that was a bit of an issue. We already knew in advance that like premium add-on content like HBO and Stars wouldn't be available within Disney Plus. I'm surprised that stuff's still working in Hulu, to be fair. I'm surprised they've not all kind of stopped that. But yes, it's going to be a little bit messy. It's not going to be quite as good as we initially thought that this launch was going to be. Hopefully we find out some news on this pretty soon. It's been pretty quiet on it. Hopefully with this information coming out, we might get an update on it. But I mean, personally, it's like, you know, I'd much rather US subscribers get, you know, a better version of Disney Plus like the rest of us have and just have the same version as us than have it delayed even more so. I think for me personally, having everything in one go is going to be good. You know, when you can get that sort of Disney streaming bundle where you get the duo one with ads for $9.99 for them both, or it's going to be $19.99 for them both without ads. It's a bit of a pain with that price, but with the price rises coming in, yeah, this is I think going to be a good thing when it happens. But yeah, it's just very disappointing that these features and stuff, we don't know what they are. Things like maybe like group watch, or you know, being able to remove stuff from your list, and just have an algorithm would be great, because it's a very hit and miss with what's on there at the minute. But yeah, so that is some bumps in the road. Hopefully we get some information on this pretty soon. But yeah, at least we know things are still kind of moving forward, but it kind of fits in with the idea that it was originally going to launch in September, pushing it back to December. I think that also helps fit with what's going on with Comcast, because now it no longer will like boost the price of Hulu, because essentially when they do this new deal to kind of basically buy out Comcast stake, the value of Hulu will be valued on what it was on September the 30th. So that date's already gone in the past. So whatever they do with Hulu in the future no longer has any bearing on the value of Hulu when Comcast is brought out. So that's a key thing. But let us know what you think about all this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. Remember to go check us out over at what's on at disneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Laters.